Have you ever said, "I'll do it tomorrow"? Most people think one small delay does not matter, but what if that one delay slowly changes the direction of your whole life? Every day we stand in front of two invisible buttons. One says later, the other says now. The button we choose again and again becomes our future. Welcome back to Daily English Audio. Today, we will explore a powerful idea that can transform your habits, your success, your confidence, and even your happiness. This is not just about productivity. It is about the hidden power of decisions. By the end of this video, you may never look at the word later in the same way again. Many people believe success comes from talent, intelligence, or luck. While these things can help, there is another factor that is often more important. It is the ability to take action when action is needed. Around the world, millions of people have dreams, goals, and great ideas. They want to learn a language, start a business, get healthy, write a book, or improve their lives. Yet only a small number of people actually move forward. The difference is often not knowledge. It is not opportunity. It is the simple decision to begin. Choosing now creates momentum, while choosing later creates delay. What is surprising is that the brain often tricks us into believing that tomorrow will be easier than today. But tomorrow usually brings new challenges, new distractions, and new excuses. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not always the smartest. They are often the people who learn to act before they feel completely ready. Every important change in life starts with a small decision that seems insignificant at first. Most people imagine that success arrives through one huge moment, but real success is usually built through tiny actions repeated over time. A person who becomes fluent in English does not wake up one day speaking perfectly. They study a few words today, read a page tomorrow, and continue learning day after day. A person who becomes healthy does not transform their body in a single week. They make small choices repeatedly until those choices become habits. The surprising truth is that our future is often shaped by ordinary moments that nobody notices. When you choose to start now instead of later, you send a powerful message to your mind. You tell yourself that your goals are important. Scientists who study human behavior have found that taking even a very small action can increase motivation because action creates momentum. Many people wait to feel motivated before they begin, but motivation often comes after action, not before it. This means you do not need to feel confident, excited, or fully prepared. You simply need to take the first step. Imagine a large airplane preparing for a long journey. Before it reaches the sky, it begins by moving slowly on the ground. The same principle applies to personal growth. Great achievements often begin with small movements that seem almost meaningless. Unfortunately, procrastination works in the opposite way. Every time we delay something important, we train our brain to avoid discomfort. At first, the delay feels harmless. We say, "I will start tomorrow." Then tomorrow becomes next week, next month, or even next year. Over time, opportunities disappear, confidence decreases, and dreams remain unfinished. What makes this especially interesting is that people rarely regret taking positive action. They may feel nervous before starting, but they often feel proud afterward. However, many people regret the chances they never took. They wonder what might have happened if they had started earlier. Life rewards movement. Even imperfect action is usually more valuable than perfect planning without action. A small step today can create results that are impossible to see right now. Just as a tiny seed eventually becomes a huge tree, a simple action can grow into something extraordinary. The person you become in the future depends largely on the choices you make today. Every moment presents a silent question. Will you press the button marked later, or will you choose now? The answer may seem small, but it has the power to change the entire story of your life. One of the biggest illusions in life is the belief that we have plenty of time. People often act as if opportunities will always be available, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, and as if there will always be another chance. But life does not work that way. Time is the only resource that cannot be replaced. If you lose money, you can earn it again. If you lose an object, you may buy another one. But when a day passes, it is gone forever. This simple truth is easy to understand, Yet many people forget it in their daily lives. They postpone their goals, delay important conversations, avoid learning new skills, and wait for the perfect moment to begin. The surprising reality is that the perfect moment rarely arrives. Successful people often understand something that others do not. Waiting can be more dangerous than failing. Failure teaches lessons, creates experience, and helps people grow stronger. Waiting often creates nothing except regret. Imagine two people who have the same dream. The first person starts today with limited knowledge and many mistakes. The second person waits until they feel completely ready. After 1 year, the first person has gained experience, improved skills, and learned valuable lessons. The second person is often standing in exactly the same place, still preparing and still waiting. This is because progress belongs to those who move, not those who only plan. Many studies on human behavior suggest that people frequently overestimate what they can do in the future while underestimating what they can do today. They think tomorrow's version of themselves will be more disciplined, more motivated, and more productive. However, tomorrow usually looks very similar to today. The habits we practice now often become the habits we carry into the future. If we constantly delay action today, we are likely to delay action tomorrow as well. Another interesting fact is that action creates clarity. Many people wait because they want certainty before they begin. They want to know every step, every challenge, and every outcome. But life rarely provides complete certainty. A person learns by doing, not by endlessly thinking. An entrepreneur learns by starting a business. A writer learns by writing. An English learner improves by speaking English, even when mistakes happen. Growth is discovered through action. Every time you choose now, you become stronger, more confident, and more capable. Confidence is not something people find before they act. Confidence is often something they build because they act. Looking back, many successful individuals say that the most important decision they made was simply getting started. They did not have perfect plans or perfect conditions. They just refused to let fear and delay control their future. Years later, the small action they took became the foundation of extraordinary results. The lesson is clear. Life changes when decisions change. Every day offers a new opportunity to move closer to your goals. The clock continues to move whether you act or not. The question is not whether time will pass. The question is whether you will use that time to build the future you want. The choice may seem simple, but its impact can last a lifetime. The most powerful difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not intelligence, talent, education, or even luck. It is consistency. Many people can take action once. Many people feel motivated for a few days. But the people who create remarkable results are the ones who continue moving forward even when motivation disappears. This may sound simple, but it is one of the most important truths about personal growth. Motivation is temporary. Some mornings you feel excited and ready to work. Other days you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If you only act when you feel motivated, your progress will always be limited. However, when you build the habit of taking action regardless of your mood, you become unstoppable. Imagine a river flowing through a mountain. The river is not stronger than the mountain in a single day. Yet over many years, its constant movement slowly shapes the rock. Consistent effort works in the same way. Small actions repeated over time can produce extraordinary results that seem impossible at the beginning. Many people fail because they focus too much on big results and not enough on daily actions. They want immediate success, immediate improvement, and immediate rewards. When these rewards do not appear quickly, they become frustrated and quit. What they do not realize is that most meaningful achievements are invisible in the beginning. A seed planted in the ground does not become a tree overnight. For a long time, nothing seems to happen. Yet beneath the surface, roots are growing stronger every day. Human progress often follows the same pattern. When you study English for 20 minutes today, the improvement may be difficult to notice. When you exercise for 1 day, your body may look exactly the same. When you save a small amount of money, it may not seem significant. But when these actions are repeated for months and years, the results become remarkable. Success is often hidden in daily routines that appear ordinary. Another important lesson is that consistency creates identity. Every action sends a message to your brain about who you are. When you practice English regularly, you begin to see yourself as an English learner. When you read every day, you begin to see yourself as a reader. When you exercise consistently, you begin to see yourself as a healthy person. Over time, these identities become stronger than temporary emotions. You no longer take action because you feel motivated. You take action because it becomes part of who you are. This is why small habits are so powerful. They slowly shape not only your results but also your character. The choice between later and now is not just about one moment. It is about the person you are becoming. Every time you choose action over delay, you strengthen discipline. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust in your own abilities. That trust grows into confidence, and confidence creates even greater action. This cycle can transform every area of life. Years from now, people may look at a successful person and think they were lucky. What they often do not see are the thousands of small decisions made behind the scenes. They do not see the days when that person chose progress instead of excuses. The future is not created in a single dramatic moment. It is created through countless ordinary choices. And each time you choose now, you move one step closer to the life you truly want. One of the greatest hidden costs of choosing later is that it slowly steals self-confidence. Most people think confidence comes first and action comes second, but in reality the opposite is often true. Confidence is built through action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own ability. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. On the other hand, when you repeatedly delay important tasks, your mind begins to notice the pattern. You tell yourself that you will start tomorrow, but tomorrow arrives and nothing happens. Then another promise is broken, and another opportunity is postponed. Over time, this creates an invisible gap between what you say and what you do. That gap weakens self-respect and reduces confidence. Many people do not realize that confidence is not created by positive thinking alone. It is created by evidence. Your brain believes what your actions repeatedly demonstrate. If your actions show discipline, your brain develops confidence. If your actions show constant delay, your brain begins to expect disappointment. An interesting fact about highly successful people is that they do not always feel confident before taking action. Many of them experience fear, uncertainty, and doubt just like everyone else. The difference is that they do not allow those feelings to control their decisions. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Imagine a person standing at the edge of a swimming pool. They may spend hours thinking about jumping into the water. They may analyze every possibility and imagine every outcome, but no amount of thinking can replace the experience of actually jumping in. The moment they enter the water, they gain knowledge that could never come from thinking alone. Life works in a similar way. Many lessons become available only after action begins. Experience often teaches what planning cannot. Another reason action is so powerful is that it changes how we see obstacles. Before we start, challenges often appear larger than they really are. Our imagination can turn small problems into enormous barriers. We worry about failure, criticism, mistakes, or rejection. Yet once we begin, we often discover that the challenge was not as difficult as we expected. Even when problems appear, they become easier to solve because we are already moving forward. A moving car can change direction more easily than a parked car. In the same way, a person taking action can adjust, improve, and learn much faster than someone who remains stuck in preparation. Progress creates options. Delay creates limitation. History is filled with examples of people who changed their lives because they decided to act at the right moment. They were not always the most talented or the most fortunate. Many simply made a decision and stayed committed to it. Their success was built on ordinary days when nobody was watching. Day after day, they continued to choose action instead of excuses. The remarkable truth is that these opportunities are not limited to famous people. Every person has moments that can shape their future. Sometimes the moment is small. Reading one page, making one phone call, learning one lesson, or taking one simple step toward a goal. Those actions may appear insignificant today, but they can create powerful results over time. The choice between now and later happens every day. It happens in quiet moments when nobody else can see. Those moments may seem unimportant, but they often determine the direction of our lives. The future is built one decision at a time. When you choose action, you build confidence. When you build confidence, you create momentum. And when momentum continues long enough, extraordinary change becomes possible. The life you want may be closer than you think. It could begin with a single decision made today instead of tomorrow. Perhaps the most surprising truth about choosing now is that one decision can influence far more than a single moment. Every action creates a chain reaction. A small choice made today can affect tomorrow, next month, next year, and even many years into the future. Most people underestimate the power of these chain reactions because the results are usually invisible at first. Imagine a person who decides to read just 10 pages of a useful book every day. 10 pages may seem insignificant. Missing one day may not appear important either. However, after a year, that person may have completed several books, learned valuable skills, gained new ideas, and developed a stronger mindset. Another person who continually chooses later may spend the same year wishing for improvement but making little progress. The difference between the two lives began with a simple daily decision. Success often grows quietly before it becomes visible. One reason many people struggle to take action is that they focus too much on the difficulty of the beginning. Starting something new can feel uncomfortable. Learning a language, building a business, exercising regularly, or changing habits often requires effort. The brain naturally prefers comfort and familiarity. It wants to avoid uncertainty and conserve energy. This is a normal part of human nature. However, growth almost always exists outside the comfort zone. Everything valuable in life requires some level of discomfort at the beginning. The good news is that discomfort does not last forever. What feels difficult today often becomes easier with practice. The first English conversation may feel frightening. After many conversations, it feels natural. The first workout may feel exhausting. After months of training, it becomes part of a routine. The challenge is not usually the task itself. The challenge is taking the first step. Another powerful lesson is that action changes not only your future, but also your present. Many people believe they will become happier after achieving success. Yet taking meaningful action often creates satisfaction long before the final result arrives. There is a special feeling that comes from knowing you are moving forward. Even small progress can create energy, hope, and purpose. People often feel stressed when they avoid important tasks because unfinished goals remain in their minds. The longer they delay, the heavier those goals feel. In contrast, taking action often reduces stress because progress replaces uncertainty. A person may still face challenges, but they gain the confidence that comes from movement. They know they are no longer standing still. Think about the people you admire most. They may be successful leaders, athletes, writers, teachers, or entrepreneurs. Behind every achievement is a history of decisions that nobody noticed. There were mornings when they did not feel motivated. There were obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt, yet they continued moving forward. Their success was not created by one extraordinary action. It was created by thousands of ordinary actions repeated over time. This means that extraordinary results are available to ordinary people who are willing to stay consistent. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to know everything. You simply need to keep taking the next step. At the end of life, people rarely regret the effort they invested in meaningful goals. More often, they regret the opportunities they ignored, the dreams they postponed, and the actions they never took. Time continues to move whether we use it wisely or not. Every sunrise brings a new opportunity to choose. The decision between later and now may seem small, but it shapes the direction of an entire life. Years from now, your future self will look back at the choices you make today. The question is simple. When that moment comes, will you be grateful that you started, or will you wish that you had? The answer begins with one powerful choice, the choice to act now. At the end of the day, the battle between now and later is not really about time management. It is about life management. Every person receives the same 24 hours each day, yet the results people achieve can be dramatically different. The reason is not that successful people have more time. The reason is that they use their time differently. They understand that every hour is an investment. Just as money can be invested wisely or wasted carelessly, time can also be invested or wasted. The remarkable thing about time is that once it is spent, it can never be earned back. This makes time more valuable than money, possessions, or status. A wealthy person can recover financial losses, but nobody can recover yesterday. Understanding this truth changes the way we see our daily choices. Suddenly, small actions no longer seem small. Every decision becomes a vote for the kind of future we want to create. Many people spend years waiting for a perfect opportunity, a perfect plan, or a perfect moment. They believe success begins when everything finally comes together. However, history repeatedly shows that progress is often created by people who begin before conditions are perfect. They take action with limited resources, limited knowledge, and limited certainty. As they move forward, they learn, adapt, and improve. Waiting for perfection often leads to endless delay because perfection does not exist. There will always be another reason to wait, another challenge to solve, or another fear to overcome. The people who make the greatest progress are not the ones who eliminate every obstacle before they start. They are the ones who start despite obstacles. They understand that movement creates opportunities that standing still can never reveal. Another important truth is that life changes gradually and then suddenly. For a long time, effort may seem to produce little visible reward. A student studies every day but notices only small improvements. An athlete trains for months without dramatic results. A business owner works hard while growth appears slow. Then after enough consistent effort, a breakthrough occurs. Skills improve, opportunities appear, and results become visible. To outside observers, the success may seem sudden. In reality, it was built quietly over time. This is why patience is so important. The greatest rewards often belong to those who continue working even when immediate results are not visible. They trust the process and understand that meaningful growth takes time. There is also a powerful connection between action and personal freedom. Every useful skill you develop increases your opportunities. Every positive habit strengthens your future. Every lesson learned expands your ability to make better decisions. The person who chooses action today creates more choices tomorrow. The person who constantly delays often finds their options becoming smaller. This is because action builds capability, while avoidance limits growth. Over time, the gap becomes significant. One path leads to greater confidence, knowledge, and opportunity. The other leads to frustration, regret, and unrealized potential. The difference begins with small daily choices that seem unimportant in the moment but become life-changing over the years. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. What would that future version of you say? Would they thank you for taking action, learning new skills, and pursuing meaningful goals? Or would they wish you had started sooner? This thought is powerful because the future is not something that simply happens to us. The future is something we build through our daily decisions. Every action becomes a brick in the foundation of tomorrow. Every habit contributes to the person we are becoming. The life we dream about is rarely created by one giant leap. It is usually created through countless small steps taken consistently over time. The choice between later and now will continue to appear throughout your life. It will appear when you want to learn, improve, create, or grow. In those moments, remember this simple truth. Action creates possibility. Action creates confidence. Action creates momentum. Most importantly, action creates change. Years from now, the greatest reward will not be the goals you achieved or the success you earned. It will be the knowledge that you had the courage to begin. Because every extraordinary journey starts in exactly the same way, not with a perfect plan, not with perfect conditions, but with a simple decision to take the first step today. In the end, the most important thing to understand is that your life is not shaped by a few major decisions alone. It is shaped by the small choices you make every single day. People often imagine that success, happiness, confidence, and achievement come from one dramatic moment. They wait for a life-changing opportunity, a sudden breakthrough, or a perfect situation. But in reality, most extraordinary lives are built through ordinary decisions repeated consistently over time. The person who becomes successful usually does not make one perfect decision. Instead, they make many good decisions, day after day, year after year. They choose to learn when others choose distraction. They choose discipline when others choose excuses. They choose action when others choose delay. These small choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but together they create a powerful force that shapes the future. One of the greatest lessons life teaches is that we eventually become the result of our habits. Habits are like invisible architects. They quietly build our future while we focus on the present. Every day, your habits are either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. The interesting thing is that habits do not care whether they are positive or negative. They simply grow stronger through repetition. If a person develops the habit of learning, they become more knowledgeable over time. If they develop the habit of exercising, they become healthier. If they develop the habit of taking action, they become more productive and confident. The opposite is also true. Delaying important tasks, avoiding challenges, and making excuses can slowly become automatic behaviors. This is why the decision between later and now matters so much. It is not just a single choice. It is the beginning of a pattern. Another powerful truth is that nobody can change your life for you. Friends can encourage you. Teachers can guide you. Books can inspire you. Videos can provide knowledge. But at some point, every person must make their own decision to move forward. Personal growth is always an inside job. The responsibility may feel heavy, but it is also empowering. If your choices helped create your current situation, then your future choices can create a better one. This means your future is not controlled by your past mistakes. It is influenced most strongly by the actions you take today. Every new day offers a fresh opportunity to improve, learn, and grow. No matter where you are now, the next step is always available. Think about how different the world would be if famous inventors, leaders, scientists, artists, and entrepreneurs had chosen later every time they faced uncertainty. Many of the greatest achievements in history began with people who had doubts, fears, and obstacles. They were not always confident. They were not always ready. Yet they acted anyway. They understood that waiting forever guarantees nothing, while action creates possibilities. Their courage was not found in perfect circumstances. It was found in their willingness to begin despite imperfect circumstances. As the days, months, and years pass, the results of your choices will become increasingly visible. Small efforts will become valuable skills. Small improvements will become major achievements. Small acts of discipline will become a strong character. This process is slow, but it is incredibly powerful. A tiny stream can eventually carve through solid rock. A small seed can grow into a massive tree. In the same way, small daily actions can transform an entire life. Never underestimate the power of consistent progress. So whenever you face an important decision, remember this simple idea. Your future is listening to what you choose today. Every action sends a message about who you are and who you want to become. The choice between later and now may appear ordinary, but it carries extraordinary consequences. One path leads to regret, missed opportunities, and unrealized potential. The other leads to growth, confidence, achievement, and a life filled with purpose. The direction of your future begins with the decisions you make right now. Choose wisely, take action, and allow today to become the starting point of something remarkable. The final truth about choosing now instead of later is that every human life tells a story. Whether we realize it or not, we are writing that story every day through our actions, decisions, and habits. Years from now, when you look back on your life, you will not remember every ordinary day. You will remember the choices that changed your direction. You will remember the moments when you decided to be brave instead of comfortable, disciplined instead of distracted, and determined instead of doubtful. These moments may seem small while they are happening, but they often become the turning points that shape an entire future. The fascinating thing about life is that we rarely recognize these turning points when they first appear. They often arrive disguised as simple opportunities, small challenges, or ordinary decisions. A person decides to learn a new skill. Someone chooses to read instead of scrolling through endless distractions. Another person takes the first step toward a dream that has been waiting for years. These actions may appear insignificant, but they begin a process that can completely transform a life. One reason people underestimate the power of action is because they focus only on immediate results. They want to see success quickly. They want visible proof that their effort is working. However, some of the most valuable changes happen beneath the surface long before they become visible. Confidence grows quietly. Knowledge accumulates slowly. Skills improve gradually. Character develops one decision at a time. Just because progress is invisible does not mean it is absent. Consider a person who studies English every day for a year. On any single day, the improvement may seem small. Yet when they compare themselves to who they were 12 months earlier, the difference can be extraordinary. This principle applies to nearly every area of life. Small efforts may appear weak when viewed individually, but together they create powerful transformation. Another important lesson is that action creates opportunities that cannot be predicted. Many people wait because they want certainty. They want to know exactly how everything will unfold before they begin. But life rarely reveals the entire path at once. Often, the next opportunity becomes visible only after the first step is taken. A conversation leads to a friendship. A skill leads to a career opportunity. A small project leads to a larger one. A single decision can open doors that were impossible to see before. This is why action is so valuable. It creates possibilities that waiting can never create. The future rewards movement because movement generates growth, experience, and discovery. There is also something deeply inspiring about realizing that every day is a new beginning. No matter what happened yesterday, today offers another chance to move forward. Past mistakes do not have to define the future. Missed opportunities do not have to become permanent regrets. Every sunrise brings a fresh opportunity to make a different choice. This is one of the greatest gifts life offers. The power to choose remains available. You can choose to learn. You can choose to improve. You can choose to begin again. No matter how slowly progress happens, moving forward is always better than standing still. Imagine yourself many years from now looking back on this moment. What advice would your future self give you? Most likely, they would not tell you to wait for perfect conditions. They would not tell you to postpone your dreams until everything feels easy. Instead, they would probably encourage you to start now, trust the process, and keep moving forward. They would remind you that confidence comes from action, success comes from consistency, and meaningful change comes from daily effort. They would tell you that the greatest opportunities often belong to those who are willing to begin before they feel completely ready. As we reach the end of this journey, remember one simple truth. Your future is being created right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Every choice you make today becomes part of the life you will experience tomorrow. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is often found in small daily decisions. Choose growth over comfort. Choose action over excuses. Choose progress over perfection. Most importantly, choose now over later. Because the life you dream about does not begin in the future. It begins with the decision you make today. If there is one lesson that connects every great achievement in history, it is this. The future belongs to people who are willing to act before they can see the final result. Every inventor, explorer, scientist, entrepreneur, athlete, and leader faced uncertainty. None of them could see the entire path ahead. They did not have guarantees. They did not know exactly how things would turn out. Yet they moved forward anyway. This is one of the most powerful characteristics of successful people. They understand that certainty is not a requirement for action. In fact, many of life's greatest rewards exist on the other side of uncertainty. The person who waits until every risk disappears may spend their entire life waiting. The person who takes action despite uncertainty often discovers opportunities that would otherwise remain hidden forever. Many people believe that successful individuals possess a special quality that ordinary people do not have. They imagine that successful people are fearless, naturally confident, or exceptionally talented. However, when we study their stories, we often find something very different. Most successful people experience fear just like everyone else. They face doubt, failure, criticism, and disappointment. The difference is not that they avoid these experiences. The difference is that they refuse to let these experiences stop them. They understand that fear is often a sign that something important is ahead. Growth rarely happens inside familiar territory. It usually begins when we step into situations that challenge us. Every new skill, every meaningful goal, and every important achievement requires us to move beyond what feels comfortable. An interesting fact about human potential is that most people never discover how capable they truly are. This is because potential can only be revealed through action. A person may have incredible abilities, but if those abilities are never used, they remain hidden. Imagine a seed locked inside a box. No matter how much potential it contains, it will never become a tree unless it is planted and given the chance to grow. Human potential works in the same way. Talents develop through practice. Strength develops through effort. Confidence develops through experience. The only way to discover what you are capable of achieving is to begin. Action transforms possibility into reality. Another important truth is that every action creates a ripple effect. The decision you make today may influence people you have never met. When you improve yourself, you often inspire others to improve as well. A parent who develops discipline can influence their children. A teacher who continues learning can inspire students. A person who follows their dreams can encourage friends and family to pursue their own goals. Success is rarely an isolated event. Positive actions often spread beyond the individual and create benefits for many others. This means that choosing now is not only an investment in your own future. It can also become a source of encouragement and opportunity for people around you. Life moves faster than most people realize. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and months become years. One day people look back and wonder where the time went. This is why taking action today is so important. The habits you build now are shaping the person you will become. The decisions you make now are creating your future reality. Every moment offers a choice. You can remain where you are, or you can take a step forward. That step does not need to be dramatic. It does not need to be perfect. It simply needs to happen. Small actions performed consistently are far more powerful than grand intentions that never become reality. As this journey comes to an end, remember that your future is not determined by luck alone, nor by talent alone, nor by circumstances alone. Your future is strongly influenced by the decisions you make every day. The choice between later and now may seem simple, but it is one of the most important choices you will ever face. Every dream, every goal, every achievement, and every transformation begins with a decision to start. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need complete certainty. You do not need to know every step ahead. You only need the courage to take the next step. Because in the end, the people who change their lives are not always the smartest or the luckiest. They are often the people who decide that today is the day to begin, and that single decision can change everything. The final lesson is not about success, money, productivity, or even achievement. It is about becoming the person you are capable of becoming. Deep inside, every person has dreams, abilities, and possibilities that are waiting to be discovered. Yet many people spend their lives wondering what could have happened if they had been a little braver, a little more disciplined, or a little more willing to take action. They look back and see opportunities they ignored, chances they missed, and goals they postponed. The saddest part is not failure itself. The saddest part is never finding out what might have been possible. Regret often comes not from the mistakes we make, but from the actions we never take. This is why the decision between later and now is so powerful. It is not simply a choice about time. It is a choice about potential. It is a choice about the life story you will one day tell. Think about every great accomplishment you admire. Every book that was written, every business that was built, every language that was learned, every invention that changed the world, and every dream that became reality started in exactly the same way. Someone decided to begin. They did not start with certainty. They did not start with perfection. They started with a decision. At first, the progress was often small and invisible. There were mistakes, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But they continued moving forward. Day after day, action slowly transformed possibility into reality. This is how meaningful change always happens. It happens one choice at a time, one habit at a time, and one step at a time. Many people spend years searching for a secret formula for success. They read books, watch videos, and collect information. Knowledge is valuable, but knowledge alone cannot change a life. A person can learn everything about swimming and still never enter the water. A person can read hundreds of books about success and still never pursue their goals. Information becomes powerful only when it is combined with action. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without action, even the best ideas remain ideas. With action, even small ideas can grow into something extraordinary. The beautiful thing about action is that it is available to everyone. You do not need special talent to take the first step. You do not need perfect circumstances to begin learning. You do not need permission to improve your life. No matter where you are today, you can choose progress. You can choose growth. You can choose to move forward. The step may be small, but small steps have the power to create enormous change over time. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story began with uncertainty. Every achievement started with a decision to try. Life will continue moving forward whether we act or not. The days will pass. The months will pass. The years will pass. The real question is what we will do with the time we have been given. Will we spend it waiting for perfect conditions, or will we use it to create something meaningful? Will we allow fear and doubt to decide our future, or will we take responsibility for our own growth? These questions may seem simple, but the answers shape the direction of an entire life. The choice is always yours. Every morning offers a new opportunity. Every day presents a new chance to become stronger, wiser, and better than you were yesterday. The future is not created by luck alone. It is built through the actions we choose to take today. And that is what makes this moment so important. Right now, you have the power to begin. Thank you for spending this time with Daily English Audio. If this message inspired you, remember that inspiration alone is not enough. Take one small action today. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be big. Just start. Because one small step today can become a completely different life tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Daily English Audio for more powerful English listening content and life-changing lessons. Write in the comments, "I choose now." Let that be your promise to yourself. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward. Your future is waiting for the choices you make today. See you in the next video.